Welcome everyone to Microsoft Dynamics Weekly. I'm your host, Noah Mosley, and a little bit different format today. Whereas I usually post these podcasts every Monday morning, I'm rolling these out before Monday as we have a conference coming up next week in Chicago for Dynamics User Group. It's their big annual DynamicsCon conference, and the next several podcasts I'm releasing feature speakers from that conference. For this next discussion, which is my sixth DynamicsCon recording for the day, it's been a busy morning so far. I have Shawn Dorward with us. Shawn is VP at sa.Global. So Shawn, we've chatted a little bit already. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Noah. Thanks for having me. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine down here in Pensacola, nice and sunny, ready for summertime. Well, summer's already here for us, so schools are letting out in about 2 weeks, and the beaches will be crowded.
Oh, yeah.
So looking forward to that. I just have to get to the restaurants early to avoid the 1 hour wait times. So you have a busy time next week. Are you going in Tuesday for the partner marketing sessions?
I'm good. I will be there Tuesday, Noah, but I'm not going to be participating in the partner marketing sessions. Some of my colleagues will. I actually have some meetings with some prospects in the space and some existing clients. And also in the Chicago area, we've got several team members locally. So I look to have one-on-one meetings with them as well on Tuesday.
Good, awesome. Well, I'm just going to run through the days here with you, and then we'll jump back and go through the sessions one at a time with you for you to point out the highlights and talk about what's coming in those sessions for everybody.
Sounds great.
So next week, Wednesday, the 14th, at 9:45 in the morning, you have a session titled Copilot in Business Central, What You Need to Know and How to Use It. You're doing that one as a solo presentation. That is you just have one that day. Thursday, you have one at 9:45 in the morning, GP LifeHacks, tips and tricks for every user. You're co-hosting that with John Kirsch there. In the afternoon at 1:15, you have how to prepare your Dynamics GP migration. You've got a lot of people on that one there. So we'll talk about that one in just a minute. To that afternoon, another one at 3:30, Copilot LifeHacks, tips and tricks for M365 Office and Teams. Just you on that one. And then anything on Friday? Let's see. I think I did see. Yep, Ask the MVPs. You are one of them. Nice little lineup there. So you have, and that's a morning session on Friday the 16th.
That's right.
So you have a busy week coming up for you.
It is a busy week. This is an event that is, end-to-end Dynamics and Power Platform at DynamicsCon, one of my favorite events of the year. Luckily for me, anyway, it's in Chicago this year. Chicago is my favorite place to be. But I really enjoy engaging with the Dynamics and Power Platform end users. And one of the best ways to do that is by raising my hand to volunteer with sessions and challenging myself to keep people entertained for 45 minutes or an hour or so, and hopefully teach them a few things that I've learned along the way. So it will be a busy week, but I'm looking forward to it.
Good. So let's go back to your first session on Wednesday morning, 9:45, Copilot in Business Central, what you need to know and how to use it. And, I've just started using Copilot this past year or so I'm pretty new to it as well. I haven't used it inside Business Central that much, so looking forward to hear what you've got for this session.
Yeah, so also, Copilot enthusiasts. So I encourage folks to check out my website, theworldsokayest.Shawn.com or lifehacks365.com, where you can hear my ramblings on about my journey with Copilot, getting used to using it and trying to be a better version of myself every day and more efficient. And one of the things that I've done here, Noah, over the past year or so is started to use Copilot in M365, which we'll talk about in a moment, but also in Business Central as Microsoft rolls out new functionality that they're surfacing in the product. And I think the key here, is for folks who use Business Central is When we say in Business Central, generally speaking, this means it's included. So you get to use a lot of this functionality without any additional cost, but you get to save the time. And the point of this session is really to, because it gets released, the functionality gets released pretty regularly in a quick fashion as AI has taken over the world in that way. But Microsoft releases two major waves every year. And to bring awareness to what the AI and Copilot functionality is inside Business Central. So that's one part of it is to talk about what the functionality is, but the other part is how to make practical use of it. And it's nice that it's shiny and flashy and it could do all this fun stuff, but does it really help me? And so what I'm trying to do during this session is to share with end users ways that they can literally benefit, not just from the shiny new thing, because it is cool, but literally benefit, save them time, be more efficient and more effective in what they do and how they do it in the system. I believe deeply that the product pushes out so many new features, not just for Copilot, but in other areas. It's hard for end users to keep up. And so I
It
want to take
is.
a moment during this type of a conference and share those things all at once and give them the real life use case that I've seen. And if you are coming to this session, please mention that you heard on this podcast. I'll be sure to tell Noah. But one teaser here is I plan on going through a very simple ROI to show how your business can benefit from using a Copilot agent, custom agent, to manage your sales cycle, which is pretty cool. And I actually have customers doing this today, so I'm excited to share that.
So, Shawn, when you get into Business Central, do you see a separate panel for Copilot, or how do you know it's in Business Central? Does it just run in the background and do work for you?
Yeah, good question. So if you do nothing, if you just go into Business Central like your normal course of business, it's there, but it doesn't interfere with your work. It doesn't present itself. You have to call Copilot so you can open it up into a what people are calling a sidecar or a blade on the side of your screen, a little chat
Okay.
window. And also there are various places in the application where Copilot is embedded in that functionality. So if you go to click on a menu item or a field in Business Central, if Copilot is available to help you in any way, as you hover over that, you'll see the Copilot logo, and you can kind of call upon Copilot there. I like to think of Copilot as a genie, like it's the genie in the bottle. We're gonna call it to come help, and I have a few wishes. So
Yep.
until you call it, it's kind of just tucked out of the way.
Gotcha. This is aimed at finance. You're doing an ROI example during the presentation. I tried to figure out some way to apply it to financial statements for Business Central. I don't know if you've done that approach with Copilot in there.
Yeah, so in Business Central, they're not doing anything in financial statements yet, but what I have done is I've taken the financial statements from BC and put them into Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot chat, and had it
Mhm.
analyze and present some statistics and even generate some KPIs for me. So there are what I call, and we could talk about this more in the other session, but what I call them parlaying, where we're using more than one Copilot to get the job done. Still very advantageous. Still a great way to save time and be more efficient.
Okay, awesome. So that's 9:45 that Wednesday morning. Copilot and Business Central, what you need to know on how to use it. Great topic there. Hey, I'm not going to be in Chicago to miss. I'll miss that one, but I hopefully will catch one of your recordings soon about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll check out your podcast too.
Thank you. Please do.
So no more sessions on that Wednesday for you. Anything else you want to throw in about that session before I go to Thursday with you?
Let's see. So Wednesday does have a couple sessions. I think you might be on the actual session there. If you slide down, that's just showing that one particular session. Go ahead and click on Wednesday again, maybe. So I do have other sessions on Wednesday. Um,
Mm.
not sure why it's doing that, but I
So
do. I do. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. No, you're right. You're right. 14th is just one. You're correct. I'm sorry. It's my bad. So
okay.
on the 15th, which is Thursday, I have a couple. That's the one I was confusing with. So right.
Yep. So Thursday, the 15th, you have 1 in the morning at 9:45, San Francisco West Tower. That's GP LifeHacks, tips and tricks for every user. And you're
Yeah,
co-hosting that with John Kirsch.
John Kirsch. He's a GPUG All-Star, named
Mm-hmm.
last year. Congratulations to him. He's a beacon of high quality service for our GP and BC team. He's super technical, super functional, and I'm really excited to co-host with him here. Life Hacks is sort of really what I write most about on lifehacks365.com, which are tips and tricks for some of the Microsoft products, and certainly GP is one of them. So this this session, you should think of it like if you've ever seen the 40 tips in 40 minutes, or the tips and tricks sessions. It's very much like that, but these are coming at you in rapid cadence. But you'll get the slide deck at the end of the session if you're there to get the how-tos, and these are things that we bring into this conference that we learn from customers, that we feel like maybe as a consultant firm that we think everybody knows these things, but the reality is end users generally don't. So we kind of surface those to the top, and we're excited to present these tips to everybody. And it covers everything, Noah, from finance, AP, purchasing, AR, sales, some inventory stuff, some reporting stuff, and even some payroll stuff. And then I think we rounded out with period closing tips, which I'm pretty excited to share as well.
Good deal. And I'm sure it applies to end users as well as partners or new consultants to attend this session. And probably all your sessions are that way.
They generally are, yeah.
Yep. Good deal. GP Life Hacks. Awesome. So I'll put the links for your podcast and your other websites in the description fields for these posts and comments as well for you.
Excellent.
And I haven't talked to John yet. I'll see if he wants to join me maybe tomorrow or but sometime before the conference for comments. But I have seen him many times over the years. Now, we're still on the same day, Thursday. You have 2 afternoon sessions for you. One at 1:15, how to prepare for your Dynamics GP migration, which is a topic that has been out for years now and is ever more important to all the users out there. So I'm sure you have high demand for this one.
Yeah, I'm excited about this topic, and largely in part because, as you said, it's a very top of mind discussion point, and I get asked these questions quite often. So the panel here is Rod O'Connor, David Laster, and Casey Metzger, and this panel, including myself, we're going to be here to talk specifically about some things we've seen, some things that we feel like end users and customers should be aware of before they get knee deep into this process, things to look out for, the gotchas, if you will, and also a bit of a dose of truth. As tends to happen, there's a lot of times you see some marketing fluff or some competitor fodder that just complicates things along the way. And we're going to do a little bit of truth telling here and make sure that the folks who are in the room hear from us, hear from our battle stories, and also maybe take away some best practices in what they need to do in their migration to Business Central. One thing I will say here, Noah, for folks who are listening, I try to say this to every chance I get. One of the biggest myths that there is that Business Central does not have a feature-rich, functional code base, and it's just simply not true. Everything GP can do, BC can do, and folks should know that that's something important. If you're looking at this end of life for GP and you're curious of what you should be prepared for when moving to BC, come join us on Thursday at 1:15 in the San Francisco room.
Awesome. Let's see. The next one, same day, is a little bit later in the afternoon, 3:30. You've got Copilot, LifeHacks, tips and tricks for M365 Office and Teams over in the Gold Coast West Tower.
If people can can last throughout the day. I know I have to, so don't get yourself too sleepy. Come join me at 3:30 in the Gulf Coast room here. We're going to talk about Copilot and life hacks. Those are more tips and tricks for Copilot. And what I'm talking about during this session, as the title suggests, is not Copilot in Business Central, but Copilot that lives within the Office app, what we know as Office applications. They're now called Microsoft 365 applications. So Outlook, Office, Outlook, Teams, Excel, PowerPoint, Word. And generally speaking, the idea around this session is to not just talk about, hey, Copilot can summarize emails, because you probably know that. That's it, like in every marketing message there is. But really, what is it that Copilot can do that will impress you and make you want it more than you think about evaluating, should I get it? And when you leave this session, I'm confident that you'll see some of these robust real life use cases put to work, and you'll know that it's time for you to use Copilot this way to be more effective and efficient in your day and bring better, higher value to your organization and to elevate yourself. I do think that there's, one of the other things that I will be sharing during this is some of my thoughts around the value and importance of being an AI handler. AI is a tool, and we need to know how to use it. And I think in the end, which is kind of evaluated every day, folks who know how to use AI the best are going to be the most successful, whether that's in a purchasing department or in a finance team or in operations. I believe that to be very true. So come to this session, learn how you can empower yourself using Copilot in these products and be more effective and more efficient, and allow yourself to have the time to do bigger and better things.
Yeah, and you do have a lot of applications you're looking at there. I see that in the description: Outlook, Copilot Chat, Teams, Excel, Word, PowerPoint. It's just everywhere nowadays, and we're all using it all the time.
That's right. And then
sometimes even though we don't realize it.
We don't realize it. And one of the importances, I think, the takeaways from this session too, is this concept I alluded to earlier of parlaying, that I call it. I'm sure Microsoft has a better word for it, but using Copilot in one place and then using Copilot in another is super empowering. And I've got some great examples of how to do that. So please be sure to join us at 3:30 on Thursday to see this very, very brand new session. You haven't seen this before. If you've seen me speak around the space, this is the inaugural presentation for this type, but I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Glad to have that. And that is a busy day for you, and you're presenting that one solo.
Yes. It'll be a busy but fun day. Three very different topics. How to use GP, how to move off of GP, and how to use the modern AI, the UI for AI and Copilot. So hopefully you don't get bored of me that day. Just come and enjoy some good banter and hopefully learn a thing or two.
Shawn, I'm sure this will be a breeze for you. So you've been doing this for a while and speak well and have a ton of knowledge to share. So everybody's looking forward to it. Friday, the last day of the session, you got a MVP session with everybody over in Regency Ballroom A, West Tower. It starts at 9 o'clock. It's a 1-hour session. I guess you'll be in front of the room on stage with everybody.
Yeah, I think these are kind of fun. Ask the MVP sessions. We kind of joke. We call this like Stump the Chump. Like we hope people bring real hard questions throughout that they haven't been able to solve throughout the week, or maybe they solved and they want to see if an MVP can give them the right answer. That's always kind of fun. But the idea around it is to get some of the MVPs. Certainly not all of them that will be there, because the room would just be too full, because there are quite a few MVPs coming to this event. But get the MVPs together and allow end users an opportunity to ask those questions or to get varying opinions on things. And this lineup with, Rob, Cecilia, Tanya Henderson, and Tanya Mesk, and Chris, who else is there? Kristen Hossman, and led by Mark Rhodes from Continua. So this type of session proves to be not only fun for folks like myself, because we kind of get a little kick out of trying to stump each other, but also hearing the hard questions from folks, because we certainly MVPs certainly shouldn't be expected to have all the answers. But one of the things that I think makes an MVP a little bit special is our desire to figure it out. So even if we
Mm-hmm.
don't have an answer, you could probably guess that someone's going to figure it out within in short order. We've got several back channel talks, groups and chats that we bounce ideas off of each other, and these are great ways just to hear from the end user about what they're struggling with and have a good time at the same time.
Nice. So that one's over at 10 o'clock, and then you're headed home.
Yeah, that one's over at 10 o'clock. I think my son Taylor has a session right after this, so I'll go see his session, and then we head on home after a long week in Chicago, which I'm really looking forward to. This one is downtown, right at the Navy Pier, if you're familiar with the area. So easy in, easy out. Lots of things to do around the area: food, entertainment. And the venue is just perfect, really, for this event. From what I heard, Noah, I'm not sure if you've shared this on some of your other podcasts, but this is the fifth event for DynamicsCon, fifth year. The first year they had about 120 or 130 so people, and this year is pegged to be at 2,000 attendees,
That
which
is a
is just
lot.
remarkable, right? So
Yep.
that is a testament to all the hard work that folks put in on the front lines as end users, that Microsoft puts in, and partners put in, but more importantly, that the traction that the space has as a community, because people wouldn't come to these events if they didn't feel like they were getting value out of it. So I think that that's a great testament to the community.
I agree. I've always enjoyed the dynamic conferences, so networking, getting more education on these different products, great things that the community offers. So, and if anybody's brand new, you know, don't be discouraged if you don't know anybody. Just go there, shake a few hands, let them know who you are, and it won't be long at all before you are officially on stage with the MVPs, probably.
So true, so true. And also, please, if you are new and you're having a challenge finding your way, or you're looking to meet new people, I have a booth in the expo hall, booth 409, like the cleaner 409. Come see me. I work at sa.Global. We service and support Dynamics implementations and business transformation. But more importantly, if you're looking for somebody to help bounce ideas off on how you manage the event as a first timer, I'd love to be able to help. Come reach out and connect.
So, Sean, will they have the booth, the expo hall, open on Friday?
The expo hall is not open on Fridays. On this
Okay.
Friday, it closes up Thursday. Yeah,
All right. So probably just Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay.
that's right. You got it. Tuesday night, there's a welcome reception. You can find me there. Yeah, they'll have hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and then there's a couple dedicated expo hours throughout Wednesday and Thursday. But it's generally open the entire day. It doesn't mean I'll be there the entire day. You can find me usually in session rooms or hallways.
Gotcha. Awesome. All right. I'm just closing up a few of these windows here, looking back at what you have on your schedule. Busy, busy guy. So Wednesday, that morning session, Copilot and Business Central, what you need to know and how to use it. Thursday, you've got 3, starting in the morning at 9:45, GP LifeHacks. In the afternoon, 2 sessions, how to prepare for your Dynamics GP migration at 1:15. 3:30, you've got Copilot LifeHacks, tips and tricks for Microsoft 365, Office, and Teams. And then you are wrapping it up on Friday morning with that Ask the MVPs for BC.
You
Awesome
got it.
week for
You
you
got it.
there.
Looking forward to it.
All right, so I will share any links that you want to put it into the description and the comment section. You've got a lot of stuff going, and you have a huge fan base. Looking forward to everything you put out there. So appreciate you taking a little time today to join us and tell us about where you're going to be next week in Chicago.
I appreciate you having me, Noah. Thanks very much. Hope everybody
Yep.
comes and sees me. I'll see you next week.
Okay. Have a great day, Sean.
You too,
Bye.
Noah. Thank you, sir.
That wraps up this podcast for Dynamics Weekly. I'm glad you could join me. As always, send me your comments. Good and bad comments are welcomed, but constructive comments are preferred. Likes, shares, and reposts are appreciated. Subscribes are awesome as well. You can subscribe to Dynamics Weekly, the newsletter on LinkedIn, and you can subscribe to the podcast directly on YouTube. Thank you, and have a great week in Chicago at DynamicsCon.